Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, hey,
Trevor.
Trent. How are you? I'm doing well. Yourself?
Maybe we'll be able to do a little magic editing and go move it around.
I mean, I got to be honest. I used to do films, and I'd be every actor or actress in them.
I could do like the whole the thing where it's like you wear two different outfits and like you talk to yourself back and forth.
I could be any female part you want. In fact, in college, we had this. It wasn't an improv. It was health science, and we were doing it on drugs, and we got put into groups of 3 or 4 people, and we got steroids. And at the time, I was really into powerlifting and bodybuilding. I'd never taken steroids at the time, but I was big, big considering, there's people a lot bigger than me. But we had to do this film on steroids, and I did every part, as a male and a female, and I was in a bikini, and it was like. And she's like, I've never given in 100% before, and I had this bet with this girl. I said, hey, listen, I really liked her, but she wouldn't go on a date with me. This was in college before my wife. And I said, hey, listen, if I get 100% on this, which I guarantee I will, on this presentation, I said, you have to go out on a date with me. And she's like, fine, And I nailed it, got 100%, and we had a good time. We went on the one date. Yeah.
One date.
One day.
Hey. And hey, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, hey,
Trevor.
Trent. How are you? I'm doing well. Yourself?
Maybe we'll be able to do a little magic editing and go move it around. Or we go we do it live here. We don't edit.
Yeah. We could do that, or we could just drop that story at the end, or I don't even know what's going to happen. I don't think podcasts really matter. You feel sometimes on Joe Rogan, like there'll be 5 minutes into the podcast, and then the guest will be like, are we on? And it's like,
are we recording right now?
We're recording. And it's like, you just had some great conversation, and now it's on film.
Yep.
So, but I mean, I feel like that's how things go too.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, driving over here, I kind of had an experience which I was going to talk about, which I'm going to talk about now. But we have a listing going live on Friday, and we were doing pictures today. A little late notice for the pictures, but our photographer was out of town, and we used a different photographer about a week ago, and. Anyways, we waited for our photographer to get back in town.
And it didn't work out that way. The other one used sometimes.
Well, it's like, I don't know what it is. We ask, we're very specific. Jessica's very specific. She's like, I want 36 to 50 pictures. I want this type of video. I want this.
Yeah.
And so even she goes there for all the pictures and everything. So she's there right now. She's there with the photographer. And so they're usually working things out. But then when we get the pictures back, it's never what we wanted with that other photographer, and it's like, I don't understand.
What did you do?
Yeah. So anyways, we waited for Danny to get back in town, and if you ever look up Danny's Day Out on Facebook or YouTube, he's a photographer. He does all sorts of media type stuff. Does a lot of traveling. Kind of has a traveling channel and stuff.
Okay.
So that's my discrepancy, is he's the best photographer, but he has a travel channel. So you have to expect that you're not always going to be able to get Danny. And he does have a few referrals, and we haven't used his referrals. But I think in the future we're going to use his referrals rather than the people that we've been using. But anyways, the story. I'm driving over here. I'm stuck in traffic, and the pictures are going to be we're going to be at 10 today. And so, my wife gives me a call. She's just dropped the kids off, and she's like, "Can you go over to so and so's house and help them out?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, well, I'm stuck in traffic right now. It's going to be a while before I can even hit an exit, maybe 10 or 15 minutes before I can even hit an exit and turn around. And, it's going to be a good hour before I get home. I mean, that's where I was in the drive.
Yeah.
And
traffic.
Yeah. Which, we talk about the traffic, I think, in a couple previous episodes. But anyways, it's traffic. But my wife calls me and she's like, hey, so-and-so fell and he's bleeding and he needs your help and she can't lift him. Anyways, they're selling because he has Parkinson's and is really starting to get onset dementia. And with Parkinson's, you start to lose your balance. You know, I mean, you're all over the place, you're shaking, and he fell and I guess was bleeding all over the place. So, but I couldn't go over there and help him. He's in our neighborhood. They're only about 10 houses down. Mm-hmm. And so they'll call us for help or something. Like about a week or two ago, I replaced a toilet seat for him.
Yeah.
Once again, because he broke it as he was falling. So, anyways, he needs serious help and she needs serious help because she can't take care of him. Let's be honest. She's been trying really hard. When he falls, she can't pick him up, so he was on the ground bleeding and whatnot.
Oh
my wife
gosh.
calls me, can you go over there? And it's like, it's going to be an hour before I get over there.
Right.
I said, can you call Kevin, this guy in our neighborhood that... At this point, you're wondering, is something wrong with YouTube? Something wrong with my computer? What's slowing this down? I'm not sure what happened. Something was corrupted, and if somebody could help me figure out why my iPad recorded it this way, it'd be fantastic. But the fact is, it turned this segment, which both Trent and I loved this segment, into the slow motion edition. So we're going to just cut to the end. It is what it is on this episode. We appreciate you tuning in. Okay, it's still slow motion, but this spot's too good not to restart here. Through that key, you're going to change it anyways in a lockbox, and then just put your...
Well, deadbolts are really the issue.
Yeah.
The deadbolts are more of it. So the cheap ones are easy to drill. The better deadbolts are a little bit harder to go through. You got to do the grinder, cut it in half, crack it that way a lot of times.
Okay, that makes more sense.
To get it to fall apart. So if I saw that, I'm like, I could do this, or I could just take my handy little edge of a pop can, essentially. You cut it out of a pop can, get a little point, go, and then...
I have to admit, man, I did not see this side of you.
I got to legally break into houses for a period of time. Yeah, it was fun.
So in my head, you got recruited while you were in jail. They saw that you could pick locks, and they were like, get this kid.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
No. So I was working at a vet clinic, and my mom's boyfriend at the time was like, hey, my friend does a construction crew, and he needs somebody who's not an idiot. And I'm like, ooh.
You're like, I know somebody.
I know somebody. What's it pay? It pays this. Okay, great. So yeah, I'll do that. It was increase in pay, so I did that. I already had a few handyman skills already. So did that for a period of time. I was supposed to do one thing, but then that contractor had contracts with the Berkshire Hathaway agents to do all the minor repairs on their properties. So, or some of the bigger stuff too. So basically, I transitioned over because some of the other people who were doing this role for the agent, they were quitting and stuff because it was pretty taxing. I mean, I did like 40,000 miles from like the May of that year to January.
Jeez.
It was a lot of driving. Yeah, because they had 120 properties at one time where you had to go take pictures of it all. So yeah, just slowly transitioned over, and they just recruited me directly because that contractor went to jail. So
I knew somebody was going to jail.
That's really joking. Yeah. So yep, worked out that way. So I just started doing that for a period of time until it was like, all right, I'm burned out, and it just.
So that was last year.
Yeah.
Now, how long ago was this though? Like,
I think it was.
Was it before you were married?
Yeah. It was before I was married. Yep. Okay. It was almost like 8. It had been almost 10 years ago now.
I can just 10 years picture ago. Rishwa. Hit the streets, Trent. We need the money.
We need the money.
Trent just hit the streets, breaking into people's places.
Just breaking it. Yeah, I'm here to take pictures. That's all.
Yeah.
You know.
It is funny because like some of the, I know a guy that's a repo guy, and he's just like, man, it gets sketchy. You know, you get guns pulled on you. He's like, I was taking over. He's like, I was going over to some grandma's house, and he's like, I had to repo her car. He's like, little did I know that grandma had a bunch of grandsons there, and he had like 5 or 6 guns pulled on him. Like just like right there. It's like, grandma can keep the vehicle for right now. It's like,
I agree with your argument.
Yeah. It's just like, wow, you guys are very persuasive.
Yeah.
It's like,
really.
I agree with you. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So that's exciting. That's pretty exciting though. I mean, that's a young man's game, I would think.
Yeah.
Like I can't picture myself doing it now.
Yeah.
I don't even like door knocking. I get nervous door knocking. Like there's a way to door knock because I'm fairly big, bald, bearded. I smile a lot, but when I'm door knocking, you see somebody larger, people automatically feel that, Yeah. And so they teach you tricks where you stand off kind of sideways
The
a little
side,
bit,
yeah.
step down, make sure you're further away from the door,
Mhm.
you know, so that you give the perception of being smaller. And make sure that when they open the door, you're smiling and not just, you know, turning into a smile when they.
Right.
So, anyways, I've had to do all those tactics and stuff. But then you know, the whole time I'm thinking, okay, and then when they answer the door, I don't even know. It's like, come on, it's not fun. So I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy when people door knock my house.
Yeah. I know. I put up the whole no soliciting sign.
Yeah. Although I do give them the time of day. I give salespeople the time of day. I'm like, okay, here's your shot. Try to sell me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm willing to be sold if you're good, but most people aren't that good to sell me on anything. You know,
No.
or they just don't have the product. I'd say they're not that good. It doesn't matter if you have a good product. You know?
Yeah.
If you're a good salesman. So,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
anyways, this was a great episode.
It was fantastic.
I had a good time.
Yeah, me too.
And we'll catch you all next time.
See you in the next one.